This is Ethan Klein on the H3 podcast. He had Mike Lindell on. So I want to listen to this, see what they had to say to each other. It's bound to be bizarre. And while we listen, we're going to play some Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm just kind of going through battling. So anyway, let's check this out, shall we? See how this went.
I'm just saying that all I've wanted for this country is to have secure elections. We need to go to paper ballots, hand counted. Other countries that do that, I've met with the Netherlands, France, Germany, the UK. I've met with them all. Our hand counting system we developed is even better than theirs. And it's 100% accuracy. We used it this last spring in Osage County, Missouri. Democrats and Republicans working together, hand in hand. It got done the same time as the machine. Anybody in this country that I talk to of the people that's a Democrat or Republican says, why wouldn't we go to paper ballots, hand counted?
Because it takes longer, it's less accurate, and it's more expensive. And there's no point. Why would anybody do that? It's stupid.
It's 10x cheaper. It's faster.
No, it is not.
It's more efficient. And you don't have machines hiding what these computers, what's going on.
That's why I'm suspicious of anyone that's against that. It doesn't make any sense.
It's nonsense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense because why would you not want that? Because we've had so many problems. This election on November 7th in Pennsylvania, they had all these votes flipped there. And ES&S Machine Company, they made a statement, and you might have seen it, said it was a programming error. You guys, we can't have programming errors in our elections. I don't care. I'm okay with whoever is elected as long as they're elected and you don't have somebody selected by
Yeah, except for the fact that Donald Trump, Lindell said earlier, I talked to Trump and he said, the only way I lose this election is if they cheated. There's no way to win the election in Trump's eyes. I'm sorry. There's no way to lose the election in Trump's eyes. There's no way for Trump to lose in his mind or in Lindell's mind. They refuse to accept the fact that that Trump is just not popular. He's an extremely polarizing figure. They can't accept it.
Computer.
So it seems like you're involved. You are very heavily involved in politics, which I think is patriotic. But
I'm heavily involved in getting rid of these electronic voting machines. And so, don't confuse the politics. Everyone keeps saying, you want Donald Trump back in, you want to overturn the election.
But that is what he wants.
No, that's an important distinction. You're right. I said that's an important distinction. You're right. I apologize. But what I guess where I was going is this passion that you have seems to have begun from when you met Trump. Is this a love letter to Trump? Is this...
I love it.
Is this a part of the kinship in the...
Dude, I love that this guy is like buttering his bread so hard.
Trump. Is this a love letter to Trump? Is this a part of the kinship and the friendship that you guys share? You got his back forever. Is that what's happening?
No. When I met Donald Trump, I'm going, wow, he could really help our country. I love our country. And I was doing so much. My calling was I was going around. I was doing speeches everywhere at that time to help people out of addiction. And he did a lot of things when he was in power, like the opiate bill. He put $6 billion into helping addicts and treatments.
Okay, I don't know if that's true. I don't remember any of that. And that's something that I would definitely be paying attention to. But either way, Donald Trump did things for people that he liked or that liked him. That is why Donald Trump did anything ever. It wasn't because he wanted to help addicts. It's because he wanted to help people who helped him. That's it, plain and simple. So I don't it's the same with Kim Kardashian. You know, Kanye West was married to Kim Kardashian and asked Trump to do a favor for her. So Trump let somebody out of jail that Kim Kardashian really liked. And it happened. It all played out that way. Exactly as Kardashian wanted. Do you think Trump really gave a shit about that person being in jail? Of course not. He just wanted to help somebody who was supportive of him in the past. That simple.
Centers across the country, things I work hand in hand with. He did a lot of stuff during his time he was in office that manifested to December of 2019. I didn't have his phone number then. I just thought he's going to be a good president. I met him that one time. In December of 2019, everybody's lives had somewhat improved. We had the highest consumer confidence in history, lowest unemployment.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's the man.
So then
I love it, dude. You can tell Ethan is just like buttering his bread, right?
And when I'm going, would I want that president back in? Yes.
Heck yeah.
But when the election stuff, all the stuff that happened in the 2020 election,
yeah,
I am glad they didn't flip it back to Donald Trump right away, because if they would have done that, we would have lost our country. We would have lost our country forever. Right. And here's why.
Right.
Now, over the last 2.5 years of investigations, we now know that we have broken election platforms. We got to get rid of these machines. We have something called...
You know, it's so sad to me that this guy has been convinced of a lie so thoroughly. This is very obviously not true at all. And he can't give it up. He cannot walk away from the fact that he was just straight up lied to. He was tricked, bamboozled. Are you ever going to come back to reality and realize this?
I need to say, actually, I do think I need to say that these claims of election fraud are contested. I have to say that for YouTube, otherwise we'll get in trouble. Even though I'm fully with you.
No, that's not true. YouTube removed any rules about, you know, election claims or whatever. You can say whatever you want on YouTube now. I could say the election was stolen if I wanted and nothing would happen. It wasn't stolen, so I'm not going to say that, but I could if I chose to.
Right. But I have to put a disclaimer that like,
and I will say
this. Hold on, Mike.
Sorry,
I just have to say this for the YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
So what I'm just saying this, I'm talking to the YouTube people who are watching. What what Mike is saying has been basically fully debunked by courts and watchdogs.
No, but that's not true.
So, I know. I'm just saying it for YouTube.
No.
I have to, Mike.
Oh, I love it. He doesn't have to. This is really funny.
Take the episode down. Let me do it, and then you can clarify. I'm so sorry. So it's been fully.
This is hilarious.
Fully debunked by third-party groups. It's by the courts. It's continually been struck down. There's been zero evidence that there was any fraud in the election whatsoever. And I have to.
And Mike Lindell's just sitting here allowing him to say it. This is fantastic, dude. I love this to death.
To emphasize how there's zero evidence. And so YouTube, if you're watching this, there, I said your shit. Go ahead, Mike. I'm so sorry.
I will say this. No judge in the United States has ever looked at any of the evidence based on merit. They have kicked all...
Nonsense. They did. The judges looked at all of these cases based on merit and determined that they had no merit. And so they dismissed the cases.
All the cases out based on standing, or they've sanctioned people. I know this. I'm immersed in it. But I know you have to use that disclaimer. I deal with the media
This is absurd.
Single day. I will say this. Jimmy Kimmel asked me in the spring of 2021, I went on his show. I wanted to get the word out. Remember, Fox News and Newsmax, they went silent on the country. Probably the worst thing that could ever happen, because they never will bring up elections or anything, because that's what lawfare did to them. I will say this.
Like, I don't even know what he means when he says lawfare exactly. Is he saying that they're using the law to, like, hurt people or something?
Remember the date you were on Kimmel?
No, but I went on Jimmy Kimmel. When I went on Jimmy Kimmel, you can look it up, everybody. It was his...
I watched it, and it was kind of absurd. Like, Jimmy Kimmel was very obviously just making fun of Mike Lindell nonstop.
Highest viewership of that year. And when I believe it was in March.
I watched it. Now it was big. It was a big deal.
Now, when I went on Jimmy Kimmel, he
keeps calling him Kimball. His name is Jimmy Kimmel. Why does he keep saying this?
He asked me. He asked me, he said, Mike, if the shoe is on the other foot, and what you're saying is true, if the shoe is on the other foot and Donald Trump was selected, would you still be sounding the alarm? And I said, absolutely, I would. Of course it would. So now I want everybody to put this in context. Right now, Donald Trump's running.
April 28th, 2021 was the date. If you want to write it down, remember it.
Right. Donald Trump. Now, everybody, I want you to understand that. Donald Trump, the getting an election, everyone, the media, Mike Lindell wants to overturn the 2020 election. No, Mike Lindell wants to get rid of these electronic voting machines, what we've learned now, to fix things, being proactive going forward. Donald Trump's already running for president. He's way ahead in the polls.
Yeah.
Why am I still out there sounding the alarm and getting attacked every day?
We have to protect. I mean, we're going to have another election. Hello.
I'm out there wanting to have an election. I want to get rid of these computers. We have found with the cast vote records and stuff, these come right out of the machines. all these problems, whether you say, in Kansas, my team in Kansas, in 2022, I got so many reports of the machines flipping votes from Democrats to Republicans. This isn't a...
Dude, I am getting messed up in this game. This is really hard. Also, this is not happening. Machines flipping votes from Democrats to Republicans, completely made up. All of it. It's made up.
Democrat-Republican thing. It's all of us thing.
I have something just occurred to me. You've struggled with addiction previously, and I think you even say yourself you have like an addictive personality, or you did before you became born again.
God set me free.
God set you free.
But, dude, I can't beat this. I'm sorry. I can't do it right now. I thought I could. Not gonna happen. I tried. So Mike Lindell has an addictive personality. True?
You did before you became born again.
God set me free.
God set you free. But I'm wondering if the election machines, I don't want to call it, I'm not going to say obsession, I'm going to say passion.
He just said obsession. That's funny. It is an obsession.
Has somehow become your new addiction. And the reason I say that, Mike, and I say this with love, is that because it seems like in your pursuit of this, which is important and it is holy and it is justified, but it seems like you're losing money, support.
Dude, this guy is so good at trolling Mike. He's totally true, though. There's a model that determines if you're addicted to a drug, and it largely revolves around, although not entirely, it revolves around how it's affected your life negatively. I don't know if I can find it here. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a model. It's basically like your entire life revolves around this. You look for opportunities to take this drug or do this thing, to gamble or whatever it is. You use all of your money on it. It disrupts your life. You cancel events or postpone events or whatever so that you can do this thing, that kind of thing. And that's exactly what's happening to Mike Lindell. And that's what Ethan is pointing out completely accurately here.
And everything that smoking crack, for example, may have taken from you. Like if you just started smoking crack instead of going after the election fraud, I wonder if that would have caused less damage.
I want to answer. You could say, do I regret what I've done? I've spent every dime. I've spent $60 million trying to fix our election platforms. I don't have any money left there. I'm borrowing money to keep going. I'm asked to put for it to fix our election platform. If you knew what I knew, and I could sit down with you for a couple hours and say, here, I would think.
Look, we're sitting down with you for a couple hours. How long is this? This is 3 hours and 25 minutes. Well, I guess Mike Lindell's segment was only from 42 minutes to an hour and 32 minutes. So about 45 minutes, an hour long. But Mike, your chance is now. You have 45 minutes to tell us. Why isn't he telling us? Why is he telling us that if we could sit down and tell us, then he could tell us? Why is he doing that instead? Seriously.
Every person, I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't unknow what I know. If we don't fix our election platforms, I love our country. I can't just walk away and say, here, I could have done something. I could have done something and I didn't do it to try and let the country know and let everybody know, hey, this is a better way we have to go because this is insecure.
Mike, do you have to?
Our government deemed our elections critical infrastructure. And we don't have that now. My passion is it's not a political thing. It's a people thing. We all need I'm happy whoever wins as long as they're elected.
And he absolutely refuses to accept it when Trump doesn't win. Look at how he treated the other states. He's only focused on Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, the states that Trump lost, the swing states. Has he put any money into North Carolina elections, into investigating them? Has he put any money into West Virginia elections? He hasn't put a dime into them. Why? Why is it that he only put money into states that Democrats could have very likely and feasibly won? Because he wants Trump to win, plain and simple.
I don't think you have to die on your sword. It's like you're one man against the world. David versus Goliath, to use a biblical reference, which I know you appreciate.
That's true. You don't have to die on the sword, Mike. Don't spend your entire savings on this, which he already did, by the way. And actually, I don't even think that he spent his whole savings fixing things. I think he spent his savings keeping his company running after he said some absolutely insane stuff and big box stores canceled orders from him.
You've done so much. I just want you to be well and to be doing well. And I feel like you're fighting the whole world.
I'm fine. There's millions of people. I have every Monday I make a call to my Cause of America, my election crime bureau that's set up. We have 300,000 people on the ground. They reach people. We're winning in everything. We just had a thing in New Hampshire that should end.
He is so full of shit.
Up at the Supreme Court. Once people get their eyes opened up, they'll be able to see that we have to have elections. Everybody should care about it. Everyone I talk to, whether Democrats or Republicans, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They go, they don't trust our election. 68% of the people polled don't trust our election.
Well, that's why the whole January 6th.
I don't think that's true. 60% of people don't trust our elections. 60% of people polled don't trust our elections. Suddenly he trusts polls. Maybe that's for Republicans, but the vast majority of people do trust the election systems. If he trusts polls, then he should trust the fact that Biden won. All of the polls showed exactly what happened. Before the election took place, Biden was the predicted winner of those states. So do you trust the polls or not? And this is even from Fox News polling. This is from polls from all kinds of different companies that are left-wing and right-wing. They all predicted Biden would win these states, and by a pretty close margin, too. So I don't want to hear any of this bullshit that you are convinced that, like, polls are evil when it's convenient, but they're good and reliable when it's convenient. Either they're reliable or they're not.
Thing happened.
And for the record, polls are reliable. Polling aggregates specifically are extremely reliable. Even in 2016, polling was reliable. It wasn't the polling that was off that said Hillary Clinton was going to win. It was the commentators that were convinced that Hillary was going to win. The polls accurately reflected what happened.
Another day.
No, that was a whole different thing. This isn't
because they didn't
trusting. I'm talking.
Sorry, let's step back. Listen again.
Poll don't trust our election.
That's why the whole January 6th thing happened. Another day.
No,
he can't handle that. Mike can't, because January 6th didn't happen in his mind. He can't live with the idea that January 6th was real, so he's going to pretend it was just fabricated by the media.
No, that was a whole different thing. This isn't
because they didn't
trusting. I'm talking going forward, our election platform.
Wait, hold on. How is it not related to January 6th? And I'm not defending them. You know what I mean? I'm only saying, like, I understand why they did it. Because, like, if your election's being stolen, Mike, then what's a better pretense for violent revolution than that?
I think pretext is the word. And yeah, that's what happened. People believed that it was being stolen. So they showed up under Trump's direction to do some crazy shit.
I had nothing. I wasn't there on January 6th. I'm just telling you this.
Yeah.
I'm here. I have evidence that China intruded in our elections.
Oh, God.
That we have.
Oh my God! It was China that intruded on our elections. But when Russia was the one that was manipulating things, they couldn't deal with that. You can't believe that. That's just completely made up, right?
We also have all the elections out there now. This isn't my evidence. This comes from the Secretary of State's. This comes from our voter rolls.
No, it doesn't. This is just made up.
I bought them all in every state. We have everything. I'll give an example. In Wisconsin, 7 million people are registered. 7 million names are on the voter rolls, and only 4 million people live in Wisconsin.
That's not true. That is completely false. Just Google it. Google it yourself if you're curious. That's a lie. Google how many registered voters there are and how many people live in Wisconsin. It's that simple to disprove. You don't have to file FISA requests or any of that stuff. Or wait, FOIA. I'm sorry, FOIA. You don't have to file FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is Google it. It's a lie.
Can vote. Pennsylvania, the last 3 elections had more votes than voters. You guys, these are
not true. Again,
computer glitches. We have to fix that.
By the way, Mike, I'm trying to find the clip of your proof of that great thing. And do you know what? It's been removed everywhere for disinformation.
Including Mike's own website. Weird, huh?
No, you go to frankspeech.com.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have posted right there.
Perfect.
Inside the machine.
And again, I have to say this for YouTube. I'm sorry. Okay. This information on Frank Speak has been widely rejected by all experts across the board. There's zero.
Oh, I love it. He does not have to say this. This is not required. You can say whatever you want and even be monetized. You're allowed to be monetized and say, this is all fake. The election was stolen and rigged and blah, blah, blah. You can say all that stuff and be monetized. They just changed that rule recently. I love this, dude. This is really funny.
Zero credibility to any of it. All right. I'm so sorry, Mike. That's just this dumb YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Does Mike realize he's fucking with him? Does he know that? Oh, that's good.
So
yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna have to go. I've got about 2 minutes left. I have another big interview, but
yeah, he knows he's messing with him. He doesn't want to put up with this anymore.
On any time.
Well, Mike, I want to ask you this though, because I am enjoying our conversation. I mean, there's nearly 40,000 people watching us live. I doubt whatever your next show is going to have that level of impact.
Agreed. Yes. Even cable news packages and stuff, they don't even have a level of live viewership like that in a lot of cases. I think Anderson Cooper has pretty big live news coverage or live viewers or whatever. But by and large, you're not going to find larger viewership than on YouTube.
Packed.
I keep my word. I told him I was coming on their show.
Fair enough.
I think
you're good.
Fair enough,
man.
Right.
You're a good man.
I keep my word. That's I don't care if they had 2 people following.
That's a good man.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that.
You're a good man. But let me ask you.
Well, he's also full of shit, though, for what it's worth.
With all the turmoil that's going on in your life, I have to imagine that Trump has been really close and really helpful with everything you've been going through.
I just was with him the last couple of days. I know his sister died. He was pretty down about that, but he's always optimistic and he loves our country. And
when did you guys talk last?
Yesterday.
Oh my
goodness! Yesterday. I don't usually. I probably talk to him once every 2-3 weeks. But I'm a member at Mar-a-Lago. I went down there for some filming and.
He's a member of Mar-a-Lago because it's a club. Remember, it's like a what do you call not a health club, but like a resort. Is that the word you'd use? I think you'd call it a resort. Yeah, it's a resort, and people go there and pay a lot of money to see Donald Trump, including but not limited to Chinese spies and Russian spies. Really, this has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. They got memberships to this stuff, and it's very expensive. Hey, that's an idea. Maybe Mike should just cancel his membership to the club, the Mar-a-Lago club, and move on with his life and spend all that money on lawyers.
What do you guys talk about? What kind of stuff you guys talk about?
It's I don't know. We're friends now. It's like, I encourage him, in spite of all the attacks.
You guys talk about golf or something? I don't know.
What's that?
Do you guys talk about golf or anything like that?
No, if he had a thing, I've told him, I've seen a thing in where you won your tournament or whatever. Just basically like you and I would talk if we were friends.
I suspect. Okay, yeah, I would talk if we were friends.
It's not a big strategy thing or something.
No. I'm just curious because you're so close to this.
No, he just likes being close to Trump. People will pay to be close to Ron DeSantis. Like donors, they'll give Ron DeSantis, for example, $100,000 to go golfing with him or whatever. This is kind of funny. I like Red 13 leaning down on that. It's really good. Anyways, they'll give Ron DeSantis $100,000 to go golfing with him, not because they think he'll be president, not because anything. They just want to go golfing with the guy, right? And they know that if he does become president or get the governorship again or whatever, if he can help them in some way in the near future, then he'll be willing to. This isn't a campaign donation. They're not giving it to him because they're trying to make him win. Nothing like that. They just want to know the guy. He seems cool. And it's legal for Ron DeSantis to loan his own campaign money and then forgive that debt, of course. Seriously, that was just like, oh, that's how it works. All this stuff. I'm describing a real situation that happened recently, even. So, anyways, Mike Lindell is buying influence when he buys his Mar-a-Lago, whatever. He's purchasing influence. You know, all that shit that they're accusing Biden of doing that he did not do? That's the kind of thing that they do. That's what Trump is doing right now with Mar-a-Lago. Seriously. Anyway, it's just nonsense, all of it.
It's not a big strategy thing or something.
No. I'm just...
Yes, it is a strategy.
Curious because you're so close to this great man. If we were friends, I imagine we talk about, I don't know, video games or guitar or Bachelor in Paradise or something like that.
That's funny. Man, I wish I could connect my my camera wirelessly so that I could show you guys my collection. I would love to show you guys my game collection. So anyways, yeah, I'm a big game fan is the point here. All right, let's continue listening to Lindell.
Video games or guitar or Bachelor in Paradise or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so excuse me. So Trump is on your phone, and I think that's so fantastic. I'm so happy for you that
I didn't have his number till it was maybe the spring of 21 when
Are you
really?
Oh, sorry.
He didn't have his phone number, Trump's phone number, until spring of 2021. That's crazy. After everything that he did for Donald Trump, he didn't have his phone number that whole time? Trump is an ice cold bitch. Well, we've known that about him, though, haven't we? Hey, I have one PS1 controller in the packaging I'll give you if you want it. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I would love any retro stuff. I will find a place for it on my shelves. I always find a place for it. I had a fan send me a big box full of stuff once. One person did that. And it had some really, really cool stuff. They didn't know what was in it. They just said, hey, I just got this big box of stuff. I have no clue what's here, if anything's valuable or if it's not valuable or what, but you can just have it. Like, I'm not into retro games or anything. And I was like, oh, awesome. All right, send it on over. So they sent it over. Most of it was not that, like, special or crazy or whatever. But, A, I appreciated that they sent me this stuff at all. They didn't have to do that. And B, it did have some really valuable stuff. It had the Game Boy startup disc. I had to buy the Game Boy player for the GameCube myself, but it had the startup disc, which is worth, at the time, it was worth about $125. With the box, it's worth even more, and it did have the box. So, yeah. Anyways, a lot of really cool stuff. They had some... maybe they had a PlayStation, a PSP in there. I don't remember, but like I don't give my address out, but I can give an address out that you can send it to that is not mine, that can be forwarded to me if you want. Okay, this is not my address, but if somebody wants to mail me a package or something, then it can be forwarded. It's in the description. I'll tell you what I do every Christmas or every, whatever, birthday, whatever. People are always asking for Christmas lists, right? Here's my Christmas list. Every time somebody asks, I say, go to eBay, pick out a console that existed between 1987 and 2004, search that console up, like GameCube game lot. Just search for that, GameCube game lot, or Game Boy Advance game lot, and it'll show you a group of games that are for sale for $20 or whatever. Most of them aren't worth anything. Some of them might be worth a little bit more. Who knows? Usually people who sell game lots already know what they have and aren't like, they don't have like crazy expensive, nice games in there. They're just selling lots. Now, if I don't have the game, it goes on the shelf. Expensive or not, it goes on the shelf. If I do have the game, it goes on eBay for sale individually or in a lot, and the money that I get from it goes into buying something that I don't have yet. Like, I don't know, Zelda Twilight Princess. I don't own that yet, for example. Like, I'm trying to get the whole Zelda line. So, if it, every time somebody wants to get me something, that's always what I recommend, because it gives me an opportunity to get involved in the retro gaming community more by selling stuff. And, it's kind of like a lottery, I get a group of games that may be good, may be bad, and I do what I want with them, It's fun. I like doing it. It's a hobby. I also like 3D printing, but I broke my printer down because there's just no room for it in this house. I live in New York City. There's no room for anything here. But anyway, let's keep listening to Lindell.
I didn't have his number till it was maybe the spring of 21 when
Are you? Oh, sorry, you said a date. Go on.
No,
I love that. He is trolling this dude so hard. It's fantastic.
No, I just said it was there. I didn't have it when he was president. We didn't talk all the time ever.
Yeah. So, but
I met him twice.
And he gave his life for this guy. Mike Lindell destroyed his own life for Donald Trump. It's so sad and embarrassing. Like, how do you move past this, How do you get so bamboozled by somebody, for that matter?
As a newborn, as a devout Christian,
right?
Are you ever concerned? And that Trump is, I hate to put it this way, because he's had abortions and he's had sex with porn stars and stuff, which is horrible. But do you?
Oh, I love it.
You think that he might be a godless person?
He absolutely is. I think Trump is our first atheist president, fully atheist.
God died. Jesus Christ died for our sins. We all sinners, and maybe you're not one of them. But
yeah, okay, but you're supposed to be sorry for the bad things you do, right?
I smoked crack, Mike.
I smoked crack, Mike. Ethan Klein is Jewish, I believe. I don't know if he's just culturally Jewish, if he's religiously Jewish, or what. But yeah.
Sinners, and maybe you're not one of them, but
I smoked crack, Mike.
I don't. Anyway, they're calling in. I'm gonna have.
Oh, he's getting his call from his people. Wow. Okay, so he's telling the truth. I'm surprised.
To end the show, but
well, one more thing, Mike. You're saying can Trump?
God's got a plan.
If Trump doesn't believe in Jesus, can he be president?
He believes in Jesus.
Are you sure? Because
the answer is no in Mike's mind. The answer is he just sidestepped that. He's like, well, it doesn't matter because he does.
Till his whole 100%. Life, up until he started running, he said that he was like an atheist, agnostic.
No, 100%. He's a Christian, and God uses.
Well, he didn't say that. Trump said that he didn't believe in all this, and he made fun of people. He made fun of evangelicals who believed in all of this stuff. Seriously, you doubt me? Here we go. One day in 2015, Donald Trump beckoned Michael Cohen, his longtime confidant and personal attorney, into his office. This is 2015, but the article is written in 2020 by The Atlantic. Trump was brandishing a printout of an article about an Atlanta-based megachurch pastor trying to raise $60 million from his flock to buy a private jet. Trump knew the preacher personally. Creflo Dollar had been among a group of evangelical figures who visited him in 2011 while he was first exploring a presidential bid. During the meeting, Trump had reverently bowed his head in prayer while the pastor laid his hands on him. Now he was gleefully reciting the impious details of Dollar's quest for a Gulfstream G650. Holy shit. Trump seemed delighted by the scam, Cohen recalled to me, and eager to highlight that the pastor was full of shit. They're all hustlers, Trump said. Dude, are you serious? I have to... Okay, well, this story is available on other outlets. It wasn't just The Atlantic. The president's alliance with religious conservatives has long been premised on the contention that he takes them seriously, while Democrats holds them in disdain. In speeches and interviews, Trump routinely lavishes praise on conservative Christians, blah, 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 calling them their champion. So, yeah, Trump called them scam artists, and he was accurate. He was correct at that time. Trump doesn't believe any of this stuff.
Uses everything for good. So you know what? This is God's plan. We're going to get to a great place, everybody out here. We're going to look back, and this was all on God's timing.
And what about the abortions, though, Mike? How do we look past those?
There you go. What about the abortions? Mike just completely ignores it.
Have a great
but there's
nation.
the abortions. I just don't think, as someone that cares about Jesus Christ, that's just so against everything that we believe in.
I've got to get on this other show. If you want to have me back on, I'll come on for hours.
All right.
You guys were scheduled for this month, so thank you for having me on.
I'd love to get you on.
Wait, who the hell was that guy? That was out of nowhere.
Okay, all right.
You guys were scheduled for this month, so thank you for having me on.
I'd love to get you on a better. Yeah, appreciate that.
I'll come on.
They're doing a clap track again. Oh, I love it. Well, like I said, Lindell had, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour to talk to Ethan. And instead of giving us this breakdown, like he said that he could and would do if he had time, he just told us the whole time that he had this evidence that he could break down for us. Well, don't tell us about it. Do it. Break it down.
Any time. It's just that I didn't commit to this other podcast.
I want to ask you one more thing. Is Trump, like, how do we...
Okay, now Ethan's being disrespectful of this other podcaster's time, right?
We get him, is he going to church like on Easter and stuff as his friend? How do we get him into church?
I don't know.
Well, you guys are friends. What do you guys talk about? Let's get him in church on Jesus. We have to save his soul.
And just tell him God's got a plan for our country. It's going to save our country. We all got to do our part.
But if you don't accept Jesus, you go to hell, right?
What's that?
If you don't accept Jesus as your savior, you go to hell.
You can do it. You can do whatever you want with God. You know, I'll pray for you. But I got to go now.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. But if the Jesus,
oh, he's so desperate to keep him on, dude. And the segment doesn't seem to end until an hour and 33 minutes, dude. Lindell is seemingly. Wait, when does Lindell get off of here? Okay, it looks like Lindell gets off of here basically now, but Ethan talks about it for another couple minutes. Let's keep listening.
Jesus thing. So okay. Mike Lindell.
Well, honorable guy.
He's pretty sharp. I gotta say.
Yes, he is.
Dude, why are they playing the Star Spangled Banner? Is that what that is?
I believe him. He's good with numbers.
I think he has like a number thing going on for sure. Because they're counting cards too. It's like
remembering dates.
Dude, he is so full of shit. He literally said he counted cards. Really? Just such a joke.
Remembering like all these specific dates is fascinating.
I resent that he said I was being facetious though. That made me think like, I hope he doesn't think that I'm not being serious.
Oh, he wasn't being serious, obviously. That's funny.
You came across beautifully authentic the whole time.
I don't know if he believed you about the crack, to be honest.
What?
I don't think he believed you about the crack, which that is 100% true, and it's unfortunate. Because
I'll smoke crack. I'll do a video and send it to him if I have to.
Okay, apparently he smokes crack now. Great. FYI, crack seriously really, really does mess you up, and you shouldn't be smoking it in all seriousness.
Well, you threw it out in passing, and I think he might have thought you were joking.
Yeah.
I don't know if he picked up on that was a real story.
The one time you don't want to talk about it.
Right, exactly.
Right, man. I don't know. He seems like
I turned the chat back.
I like that. I like what he's doing. I like that the mission he's on. I'd love to stay in touch, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a genuine twist in there where he was just openly acknowledging how all of these Republicans are blocking his...
But then he wouldn't go...
Yeah, but Ethan was kind of twisting his arm and trying to get him to take that extra step and denounce all Republicans, basically. And Lindell just would not abide by that. He refused to accept that. Even though Republicans are legitimately 100% corrupt and totally willing to cheat in elections if it will get them where they want to go, without a doubt. They'll do whatever it takes. I don't know why Lindell sides with Republicans over Democrats if he really does believe that there's cheating and malfeasance going on in the election. Seriously. Insane.
Go there. And I was like, oh, there's the demons blocking progress, but he wouldn't go there.
I mean, maybe he is genuine with his... Well, he did say himself he was not politically active until he met Donald Trump. I think he only really cares... I don't think he's loyal to Republicans. I think he's just loyal to Trump. Personally.
That's what I'm...
Oh, absolutely.
Saying with like the love stories they have.
The mic.
Huh.
But they talk regularly. That was also an interesting revelation. But yeah, just to summarize again for YouTube, that like all the stuff that he said about the election is fully debunked.
By the way, if anybody's wondering why Ethan is making odd gestures, it's because he has Tourette's syndrome. I understand because I have OCD and I make odd gestures from time to time. But it's not, not super visible with me. A little more visible with Ethan here, but yeah, just ignore it.
Widely debunked.
I'm glad you remembered to say that because that could have got us in trouble.
Yeah. Widely debunked by every expert that you can possibly dream of. Every court case has been shot down and dismissed. There's so little merit that I possibly couldn't even emphasize how absurd the concept of it is. And that's just for YouTube. Please don't demonetize this.
That's funny. Yeah, it is just completely nonsensical, like all of it. It was debunked 1,000 times over. And again, that's not for YouTube. You don't have to say any of this stuff for YouTube. They specifically changed their rules not long ago so that you can say whatever the hell you want, unhindered. So he's just trolling him here.
I don't believe. Well, that's just for YouTube. Thank you. Smoking crack. So here, I mean, this is what we have in common that I wish he would take more seriously. Smoking
crack at least once. That's good. Oh, I love that. That's really good.
Crack at least once.
At least once, right.
I'm definitely in that group.
You're in that club.
Yeah, again, I've smoked it, but I think it was fake, so who knows.
Wow.
Is that the rain, by the way?
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah. It's coming down.
I wish we had more time with
Los
them.
Angeles.
It's a rainy day out here in Los Angeles.
Wait, how long was that convo? Because I wish it was.
It was about 40 minutes. And
God,
yeah,
that
I mean,
time went by fast.
He emphasized that he was on a very rigid schedule. He said he's a very busy guy. He joined the Zoom meeting on 2 o'clock at the dot, and then he left right when he said he was going to leave. So.
I got to say,
well, he didn't because Ethan kept trolling him and trying to get him to stay.
He does. There are some really nice characteristics about him. His energy, his punctuality, his numbers awareness. He's clearly a shrewd businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He also, his smile when you talked about what you guys would talk about if you were friends, I thought that was beautiful, the moment you two shared for a second. When you said Bachelor in Paradise, he loved that.
Because I was just wondering. I was just trying
to... Seemed like maybe he's a fan.
I think he does.
I think he's badge-nation.
I'm curious if he's going to remember this date. That's the first time he came on.
November 15th, 2023.
Right.
Yeah, does this affect his life heavily? I guess that's the real question, isn't it? Mike remembers all of these dates except the ones he doesn't remember. Like I said, he doesn't seem to remember the day that he started smoking crack. Apparently he remembers when he stopped, I think he said. Dude, Mike just needs help, seriously. He needs help. He claims to want to give help to others. He needs help himself desperately. Anyway, this is insane and hilarious simultaneously. Please get help, Mike. Let me know what you think in the comments.